almost all our, I would say, experiences today touches the digital world in a way. The way organizations are communicating with us, doing business with us today are over digital channels. So it's almost everything that we do relates to a digital and digital experience. So for me, it's very fascinating. It touches the thing that I do every day. If I connect to my bank or to my telco company, or transferring money or whatever, or ordering or booking a flight, it's all done digitally. So my work and my personal life are kind of touching together around digital.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. Yaron Morgenstern, welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Thank you for joining me all the way from London. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Michael. Very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to diving deep with you into digital journeys and customers. And Bezos talks a lot about customer obsession. Obviously, the company you're running and building, Glassbox, is a good example of what it means to be customer obsessed and understanding customer journeys, what they mean, and how to extract knowledge to improve on their future journeys. And so looking forward to diving deep both on that, but also your own personal journey. And so tell me just a little bit about who you are. How did you even get to this idea of Glassbox?
Great. Happy to do that. So, I'm more than 20 years in the tech industry. Worked the entire career for fairly large Israeli software companies. Started my career at a company called Namdocs, which I assume many knows, right? A leading vendor in the telco space. Spent there 8 years and then moved to another company called Nice Systems. Spent there another 8 years and then kind of moved to Glassbox. I'm not pure what you would call pure founder, but I'm a half founder. When I joined the company, there were 7 employees in the company, 3 founders and 4 developers. Yep. So I consider myself as half a founder.
Phenomenal. And this world of digital journeys, digital interactions, it seems a little bit aside from what you were doing before.
Yes and no, because all my career I spent in, I would say, working and serving what we call B2C companies, meaning companies that are serving consumers and serving them with software that help to improve the experience of those companies' customers, meaning all of us, the consumers around the globe. So in a way, I stayed around the same areas, but digital was fairly new to me until 8 years ago. And since then, I'm living and breathing the space. And I think it's one of the most amazing and fascinating markets I've ever served.
I couldn't agree with you more. So convince me now, and I'm already convinced, but whoever's listening, why is it one of the most interesting markets to be in?
Because eventually it touches all of us and what we all do all around day, right? Everything that we do, including your audiences that are now looking at us, right? Almost all our, I would say, experiences today touches the digital world in a way. The way organizations are communicating with us, doing business with us today are over digital channels. So it's almost everything that we do relates to a digital and digital experience. So for me, it's very fascinating. It touches the thing that I do every day if I connect to my bank or to my telco company, or transferring money or whatever, or ordering or booking a flight. It's all done digitally. So my work and my personal life are kind of touching together around digital.
And so, what opportunities then, if we're looking back at 2015, what was the landscape and what opportunities were presented to those that were able to better grasp and be part of this, digital journey analysis and insight extraction?
Yeah, so I think back then the maturity level was still in the beginning in terms of understanding the experience and the importance of experience of customers around, serving them around the digital channels. It had already more maturity around web and the what we call the mobile or native app was fairly early in the days, not in terms of, mobile apps were there already, but the understanding of the experience, how to improve the experience of customers around mobile apps was still kind of in the early days, I would say. Today we're in a much more and have a much higher level of maturity around understanding of experience around digital channels, web, and what we call mobile or native apps.
And so, has this space changed over the last 9 years? Obviously, it has, but how has it changed? So, perhaps we can go back a little bit and share with me a little bit about what Glassbox does and how you work with customers on
Okay.
customer digital journeys. And
Yeah.
then,
So,
and
so
then
maybe
I'd love to understand. Go ahead. Yeah.
so maybe I'll start with that because I think it's important. We help organization and we serve many of the largest organizations in the world, including 7 of the largest banks in the world, Citibanks, Wells Fargo, and others. And some other organizations like Marriott is the largest hotel chain in the world, Nestle, which is the largest consumer good product in the world, and many others. We help them to improve the experience of their customers, meaning us, the consumers, when we use their digital channels, mainly, as I mentioned, their websites and mobile apps. We help them do it by enabling them to understand not only where their customers are struggling or dropping during the digital journey, but even more importantly is the why customers are struggling at a certain point, why they're dropping, why the conversion rate of a certain digital process is so low, and what needs to be done in order to increase it. By helping them answer all these questions, we actually help them to increase the satisfaction of their customers from the digital channels, and by doing that, we help them to increase the revenues that eventually they're making through the digital channels. And today, 2023, we're almost 2024. Most of the organizations in the world are doing most of their business throughout the digital channels.
100%. And so that you're already touching on one of the shifts, I think, of over the last 8 or 9 years. Do you have some examples of how, by understanding better the interaction through the digital channels, how that helps create insights for an organization that's, learning the space, how that's impactful?
Yeah, it's very impactful. I'll give you one example. One of our customers, insurance company in Europe, actually, they had a problem with a certain drop in conversion rate of a certain insurance product that they were selling over their mobile apps. And on the same time, they had an increase in the what is being called call me back requests, which are requests of the organization to call back the customer. Now they look at our system that analyze all the data, and it could be tens of millions of people using that certain data. And what they could see is that the problem was with only segment of of their customers or the prospects that were trying to take this insurance and were using iPhone only on a certain version of iPhone, on a certain version of iOS. And when they looked at what happened, what they could see is that those customers were going through the process, and at a certain part of the process, instead of the continue button was below the screen, and in the middle of the screen they had a call me back button. So what those customers were doing is just pressing the call me back, thrown out of the process, and a request to call back was sent to the organization. By the way, just that you will understand, if those customers were completing successfully the process over the digital channel, the cost to the organization is between 20 to 40 cents a dollar. Once it's being deflected to a manual, we call it manual or manned-based channel, for example, contact center, the cost is between $5 to $10. Think about,
Wow.
when you multiply it by hundreds and thousands and sometimes millions, the cost is huge, not talking about the customer experience, etc. Because you as a consumer, you would like to get let's say it's a travel insurance, you want to get it and fly, right? You don't want to now start to speak with an agent and so on and so forth. So it's only one example of what is the impact to the organization, the cost, the loss of potential customers, loss of revenues, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And so if you're looking now at where we're at in 2024, how are you seeing the space today? What is different today than what it was 8 years ago about understanding digital journeys? Do we have better tools to do that? Are there different expectations? Obviously, the world is much more digitized, and we're using where it's much more intuitive for all of us. So, where are we today?
So it's a great question. I would like to relate to two elements here that have changed dramatically. One that has changed over time, we're expecting as customers to have a fluent experience over digital channels.
Yes.
Intuitive, easy. Even my father would like to, and obviously post-COVID, he would like to do everything over digital. He doesn't want to go to the branch and talk to the banker. And it all has to be very intuitive, very easy to do and to complete, right? That's on the consumer side. On the organization side, or the understanding the experience, a lot has been changed, especially in the last year with the involvement of Gen AI. And I'll explain. I think the world today is not the same as it was a year ago.
Not at
With
all.
people that now work on understanding experience of customers can leverage tools like Gen AI in order to, for example, use a solution like ours, ask any question they want and get any answer based on one element that the data is there, it's accurate, it's consistent, it's complete. If you have that, with Gen AI, now you can ask any question, understand the issues, and be able to focus your time not on understanding where the problems are, but on solving the problems. And this is where a company like ours is focused on. We're focusing on making sure that our customers, the organization, are focusing on fixing the problem for their customers, and not on finding what are the issues and trying to understand how to solve them.
That makes a ton of sense. What is the
And this
expectation
is
of?
fascinating, by the way. It's fascinating. It's the Gen AI. I think revolution. It's not evolution. It's a revolution. Is amazing. And I think that companies, and especially tech companies that are able to leverage it, will fly. That's my view.
And so, is it becoming easier or harder for organizations to understand the digital journeys of their customers? So, obviously, there is a larger expectation of customers to have enhanced digital interactions. Do organizations have an easier or harder time dealing with that?
Under one assumption, it becomes easier, and the assumption is an important one: is that they have the data.
Yes.
Because you have to make sure that you have the data. It's a complete data. You have the data around you, the experience of your customers across all the different touch points that the customer have with your solution. If you have different apps, if you have websites, and you have mobile native apps and social media and others, you need to make sure that you have a consistent experience around those channels. In order to understand the experience, you have to make sure that you have data on all the experiences of your customers around those channels.
That makes a lot of sense. And so, where is Glassbox then positioned today when it looks into the way Gen AI is changing the landscape and the opportunities presented? How are you thinking through your own company?
So that's why I'm so excited and passionate, as you can probably see.
Yes.
I think we're in a place where we can, fly, as I mentioned before, and I'll explain why. Because I think that Glassbox strength is around its platform, its ability to collect all the data in a very secured way, in high scales. We work with some of the largest organizations in the world. Make sure that the data is complete, 100% of the data, it's accurate. And then, if you put on that, AI capabilities, the insights that you can bring to our customers, to the organizations in real time, is phenomenal, and could help them, again, as I mentioned, make sure that they understand immediately where the problems are, what needs to be done in order to correct those
Sure.
problems, and make sure that they focus their time on making better experiences.
And so it sounds like the one of the big shifts here is also that there's a shift in, if before the most difficult part was getting the data, and the biggest offering was to get the actual user interactions and to standardize the data, and now there's also opportunities to actually make sense of the data, which is the so it sounds like Gen AI is both the catalyst for using more digitized journeys, but also for actually making getting understanding of what are the roadblocks or impediments or the good parts of our digital interactions, right?
That's correct, and I would say even more than that. It's democratizing the data, making sure that everyone in the organization, even if they're not coming with the technical background, they can ask any question and in real time get the answers to better understand what they need to do in order to make sure that the experiences are better. And that's the big change, because data, very smart, strong data scientists could always make the queries, build their data lakes, and run all kinds of algorithms on the data. That was the true also a few years ago. Now with Gen AI, I think the opportunity is for everyone in the organization to understand where the issues are and what they need to do in order to correct them.
100%. Tell me a little bit about your own personal experience throughout all of this. How has it been for you doing this over the last 8 or 9 years on a personal level?
Roller coaster. It's not a cliche. It's true, right? It's I think running a company, thinking about the journey that we've been to, starting from small, really small. When I joined, we were sitting in a garage in a small city close to Tel Aviv, and growing to a global company. Today we have offices around the globe. We've done 2 acquisitions. We went through IPO. We went through the whole COVID crisis. Recently, the macroeconomic crisis, the conflict in Israel that is happening now. It's never a dull moment, in running a company, but it's never boring. It's like every day
What
is a
what
new day, an interesting one.
what have you learned about yourself in running a company?
I like in my one of my hobbies is jogging, long runnings, and it's like a long running. Again, I'm not saying something new, but it's important to understand where you're heading, but it's always also important to look a little bit ahead, know what the things that you need to do in order to get to the goal, and not always focus only on the goal that you have to achieve. I think this is the important thing, because overcoming challenges, you need to look at the challenges, but you need to remember that there is also, there is a North Star that you are chasing, and the combination is very important. And also to take some, to make sure that you have also hobbies outside, outside work. You have the ability to re-energize yourself. This is also very important.
Absolutely. Well, Yaron, I really want to thank you for taking the time here, helping me go through the journey and understand the market a little bit, and your personal excitement, obviously exudes through the screen. And so thank you for coming and sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. Best of luck with the journey of Glassbox, and every other journey along the way. It sounds like an intense one, but a phenomenal one at that. Obviously, digital interactions and digital journeys are the core of our human computer interaction and where we're headed, and understanding them better is the foundation of building great products, especially for businesses who need to interact with customers. So thank you very much for spending this time with me, and best of luck.
Thank you, Mike. It was a true pleasure. I really enjoyed the discussion.
Thank you very, very much.